Remember that coworker who's always crushing it? The one who finally bombed a presentation? Or that girl whose Instagram looks like a curated paradise suddenly posting about a breakup? And you felt kinda good about it, just for a second, but you did. Know why you'd never admit this out loud? Because you're scared someone will say you're a terrible person. But here's the thing, everyone experiences schadenfreude, every single person. The real question is, what makes you secretly celebrate other people's failures instead of building your own life? And more importantly, why did your brain choose this particular way to boost your self-esteem out of all the options available? Not because you're envious or cruel, but because something's off inside, and we're about to drag it into the light. Psychologists have dissected schadenfreude from every angle, and the picture is simple. It's not a personality defect, it's a defense mechanism that operates for very specific reasons.
3 reasons, to be exact, and each one shows you exactly where to dig to stop depending on other people's failures. First reason, envy. Not the kind you're aware of and acknowledge, but the kind that sits deep and whispers, "Look how successful they are, and you're not." When that successful person finally screws up, your brain exhales with relief. Finally, justice! Now they're just like me. You feel like the scales have balanced, like you're back on the same level. But actually, nothing's changed. Only your perception has. They're still who they are, and you're still who you are. The difference is, now you feel better, not because you've achieved something, but because someone else fell. See the problem? Your self-worth has become dependent not on your wins, but on other people's losses. It's like trying to climb by pulling others down. Technically possible, but you're not going anywhere. Second reason, plain old dislike. When you don't like someone, their failure brings a special kind of satisfaction. It's a way to mentally say, "See, I was right about you. You really do suck." And it gives you a sense of superiority, like you won an invisible competition that nobody except you knows about. Problem is, this person has no clue about your competition. They're living their life, experiencing their failure, and moving on. Meanwhile, you're stuck in this mental game where the only prize is feeling like you're not so bad compared to them. Congratulations, you won a tournament where you're the only contestant. The third reason sounds nobler, but operates on the same principle, a sense of justice. When someone behaved badly, lied, slacked off, was rude, and then got what they deserved, schadenfreude feels justified. Justice has been served, and you can celebrate with a clear conscience. Except here's the question. Why does their failure specifically make you so happy, rather than justice itself? If this were pure joy about justice, you'd be equally happy when good people get good things. But no, the kick comes specifically from the bad person getting bad things. This isn't about justice. This is about revenge you can't execute yourself, so you're just happy when life does it for you. Now here's the interesting part. What's really hiding behind all this schadenfreude? A quick self-esteem boost. For a moment, someone else's failure makes you feel better about yourself. It's like an energy drink. Sharp spike, then a crash. Except instead of caffeine, you've got someone else's misfortune. And instead of energy, you've got an illusion of superiority. And now you're hooked on this feeling because it comes easy. Much easier than working on yourself, achieving your own goals, celebrating your own wins. It's simpler to watch someone else stumble and feel like a winner by default. Behind constant schadenfreude, almost always lies insecurity. When your own successes don't bring you joy, when you don't see your own value, it's easier to focus on other people's failures. They at least make you feel something, an illusion of control, an illusion of superiority. You can't make yourself more successful, but you can be happy when someone else becomes less successful. It's like trying to win a race by waiting for everyone else's cars to break down instead of improving your own. Or schadenfreude is hiding an old wound. If you've been humiliated, mocked, or hurt, you might unconsciously want others to feel the same. Not your specific tormentors, but just everyone who triggers an association with that pain.
Successful people remind you of your lack of success. Attractive people remind you of your insecurities. Happy people remind you of your unhappiness. And when they fall, you feel relief. Now you know what it feels like. But they won't know. They'll process their failure and move forward. And you'll be left with that wound inside, demanding new victims. Another reason, exhaustion from constant comparison. Social media shows you other people's successes, travels, perfect bodies, happy relationships every single day. You're tired of comparing yourself to this stream and losing. And Schadenfreude becomes a defensive reaction, a way to say, well, look, your life isn't perfect either. It's an attempt to level the playing field because you can't handle the constant feeling of losing. But the problem is, other people's failures don't make you more successful. They just give you a breather in this endless comparison race. The question now is different. When does Schadenfreude go from an occasional feeling to a real problem? Experiencing it from time to time, that's normal. All people are imperfect, and so are your emotions. But if it's become your default way of reacting to other people's failures, that's a red flag. If you practically can't empathize, even when your friends or loved ones are struggling, if you feel pleased when people you supposedly care about experience setbacks, this isn't just an emotion anymore. It's a signal that your mood depends too much on other people's failures, not on your own joys. That you're stuck in the role of a spectator rooting against everyone because you're not stepping onto the field yourself. What do you do if you've caught yourself in Schadenfreude? First step, don't beat yourself up. You're not a bad person. You're a person with unresolved internal issues that are surfacing through this feeling. Acknowledgement is already half the solution. Just tell yourself honestly, yes, I'm experiencing Schadenfreude right now. No justifications, no dramatization. A fact is a fact. Second step, ask yourself why. What specifically triggered you about this person? Are you envious of their success? Do they remind you of your failures? Did they hurt you once and now you're mentally getting revenge? Understanding the cause helps you deal with the emotion, because when you see the mechanism, it stops working automatically. You start to realize, wait, this isn't about them. This is about me and my insecurity. Third step, try to empathize. Not out of saintliness, but from understanding that being in their position sucks. Imagine for a second that you're experiencing failure while someone's celebrating. Not to justify their actions or to suddenly like them, but to remain human. Empathy isn't weakness. It's the ability not to sink to a level where someone else's pain becomes your entertainment. Fourth step, shift focus to yourself. Instead of monitoring other people's failures, ask yourself, what can I do for my own life right now? Where can I channel this energy that I'm wasting on Schadenfreude? Because every time you celebrate someone else's failure, you're spending time and emotion on something that doesn't improve your life at all. You're standing still watching others fall instead of moving forward yourself. Fifth step, deal with what's causing the envy or resentment. If someone else's success pisses you off, it means somewhere inside you don't believe in your own. Work on that, not through devaluing other people's achievements, but through finding your own. If other people's happiness triggers you, it means you're unhappy yourself. Other people's joy isn't the problem, your lack of joy is. The more you focus on your own life, the less other people's will matter. Schadenfreude is like a warning light on your dashboard. It's not your enemy. It's showing you there's a malfunction inside. Insecurity, resentment, comparison fatigue. You don't need to ignore it or feel ashamed. You need to figure out what's broken and fix it. Because when you start building your own life, celebrating your own successes, valuing yourself, the need for other people's failures will disappear on its own. You can keep celebrating when others stumble and call it a sense of justice, or you can admit that it's your brain trying to boost self-esteem the cheapest way possible and start working on the real causes. The choice has always been yours. You just used to make it unconsciously, and now at least you know what you're choosing.